How many beans make gone? Phases of a lunacy. Phase 6, the life and times of a dying corpse. A real identity crisis. Did I fall asleep at the wheel? Where's a good metaphor when you need one? I have a theory. It's not a conspiracy. I'm not being conspiratorial. I don't want to be banned or demonized for misinforming anybody. It's a speculation, okay? I'm making it up. A series of thoughts and imaginings on a theory of mine. It's mine. I can have a bloody theory if I want. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a medical expert. Do I know what the truth is? Do you know what the truth is? No, not sure anybody's listening to me anyway. Is anybody following me on fact check? Do I care? Don't you care? It's just a fucking theory, okay? How can you ban a theory? Why would anybody want to ban a theory? The human mind was created theoretical. Every new fact birthed from a theory. Close the mind and end to creativity. We'd just be thinking the same thing over and over again and never asking why. And as soon as you ask yourself why, you're obviously being theoretical. Why do I have a theory? I have a theory about that. Maybe because I don't have the full facts. I mean, it was a theory that the earth wasn't flat. Still is for some people. Prove it. Show me the evidence. Well, I want you to look at this chart and watch this video. You could just be making it up. You can only believe what you believe till somebody or something convinces you different. But hey, belief is the ultimate theory. Is anybody following me? Up the apples and pears? Do I care? Don't you care? Hey, I once had a passionate relationship with a Kiwi. So anyway, I have this theory about death. How theoretical can you get, assuming you're still alive? That every death, every dying has its own end-of-time scenario. The world's on the brink. You're on the brink. Blink and you'll miss it. Or maybe you'd like to blink because you're afraid you might not miss it, but your eyes are magnetically propped open as you're lying on your cot with only the TV for company, your body just a mass of wrinkles and what's left of your hair, total fucking mess, and you're being shown images of war and desolation, a robotic militia in full battle gear, entering a cave in Albania and clearing out the stalactites, nuclear meltdowns, climate catastrophes, starvation, power shutdowns, panic on the streets, people under armed guard being led into barbed wire concentration camps, and you can't help feeling like your whole life has been lived in vain. The Chinese army mobilizing on the Mexican border, but only for maintenance and roundup of illegal American immigrants. The Russians have hacked into Tucker Carlson's personal files. Apparently, he's been lying all along. The UK is now the United States of Korea, and the People's Democratic Republic of America has just declared martial law. It's getting fucking serious, comrade. Everything's gone to cock. Even vaginas have gone to cock. What kind of a world am I dying in? Global debt at an all-time high, and nobody's saying exactly who's demanding payback. And this guy, the next bed's an illegal Martian, can't stop farting, refuses to mow his lawn, and house prices have plummeted. Walt Disney's been thawed out, reanimated as the Antichrist, endless fucking reruns of The Lion King on TV. The Son of God has risen in the West. Now everybody east of the equator is living upside down and right to left. Hey, it's just a fucking theory. And you were not prepped for this. You never took your Viking cruise. Your golden age retirement package withheld because you failed to fill in the right paperwork. You refused to toe the party line, but you didn't know you were in the party line. You thought you were just having a private conversation with yourself. Nothing is funny anymore. The party's over, whispers the masked man in riot gear as he turns up the volume. We need to see your papers. But you can't remember where you put them, and they won't let you die in peace without your papers. There's the law, there's the party, and there's the truth. But the party's over, and the truth is anybody guess. But I'm not allowed to guess anymore. I guess not. Only if I'm willing to let my life depend on it. I'm dying for Big Brother's sake. Give me a fucking break. This is guesswork to the nth degree. It's the 10th anniversary of when everything changed. I just couldn't change with it. Things started moving so fast, so suddenly it seems humanity itself retired long before I did. Everybody too busy looking in a one-way mirror and praying it wasn't you who killed your granny with neglect. Beware Beware the beast with the face of a man. Ye shall judge someone not by their words or their looks, but by what they do. So if you're having this fascinating chat with a really good-looking guy at a cocktail party, then suddenly he rips your throat out, you'll know he was not the charmer he seemed. And the moral of the story, the moral of this song, appearances and articulacy can be deceptive. You'll need to remember that in your next life, and always do a background check. Google beast with the face of a man, and don't trust anything you read on Wikipedia. The beast is famous for lying about the truth and demanding that you mark his words, or he could rip your throat out in the middle of a crowded room and nobody will blink an eye. You were an enemy of the state we're in. Your only consolation to be truly dead and never again to be accused of simply being alive. We played games when we were young, hot games of seek and hide, with nasty ways of winning. They have all the power they need to make this happen, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Beware the beast with the face of a man. Maybe he'll be the only one on TV not wearing a mask. Does dilute one's charm. Is anybody following me on Revelations 101? Do I care? Don't you care? Hey, apocalypse is not for the squeamish. I remember being told my granny passed away peacefully on the couch in a little bungalow with a television on. Wasn't told what she was watching, hopefully not the news. I suspect me mum died with the TV on Antiques Roadshow, I speculate. Makes you wonder how many people these days pass away to a screensaver of the Grand Canyon or an animated version of real life, or Judge Judy just about to pass a final judgment. There was a movie. Some guy wanted to die watching a Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers movie. Movies within movies within movies. The radiance of eternity will be televised. Didn't Edward G. Robinson get euthanized to the sense around gurgling of a gentle brook babbling through lush woodlands before being rendered into soylent green lunch snacks? I should Google it, though it could be too late for that now, sunshine. You'll just have to take your own word for it. We're turning your TV and your computer off. Death by 1,000 power cuts. You're blundering around in the dark when suddenly a flashlight blinds you in its beam. It's your lifelong best friend, gone all glassy-eyed, Stepford body snatch, pointing you out to two men in black as an enemy of the state for refusing treatment. You would have had nothing to fear if you had nothing to hide. Sick Joseph Goebbels, 1943. Tell that to the Gestapo. All I wanted was a cup of tea and a Ritzy cracker. It's not enough. You have to actively demonstrate your compliance. Okay, put the kettle on. You think this is a joke? Well, we'll live in hope it is. I may theorize myself to an early death. Of course, those could be the worst possible scenarios. Maybe the world's taken a turn for the better. Vera Lynn has been thawed out, and there are bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover. You did your best, and you're leaving everything in good hands. Greta Thunberg has just been selected chief advisor to President Harris. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's SpongeBob advising Homer Simpson. Billy Gates now, an indentured used car salesman. All his earnings going to the Jeffrey Epstein Victim Fund. And Whoopi Goldberg is agreeably not disagreeing about everything that can now be proved as absolutely true. By default, thank the Lord. My kids have something to look forward to. But I didn't have kids. Did I have kids? If I did, maybe I should have taught them better. I should have at least left them in my will. Did I leave a will? I never made a will. Nobody will have anything to fight over. I had nothing to leave in a will. Proves I lived my life to the full. I shall exit this world as I entered it, leaving nothing to chance. Tough love, no love at all. Too much love, it broke my heart, and that's what I'm dying of, really. I mean, if that nurse would just give me a kiss, I could die a happy man. Or a woman could be a male nurse. Now, everybody's binary. Reproductive sex strictly for the birds. Progress. And I was there to help it along. Or was I too regressive? Did I contribute to humanity's as well as my own demise? Where are your kids when you need them? They're living their own lives now to the full. So I can't have been that bad a parent, but I forget I didn't have kids. So I helped with the population crisis. Did my duty as a devout Democrat, or was I a Republican? Republican, I forget, but at least I didn't start a fucking riot. The Capitol is still intact. I just hope it's not the bad guys running it. I need to believe they're the good guys, so I can die a happy man or woman. I should check my prescription. Not sure I ever decided, but it doesn't matter now. I'll soon be identifying as a corpse, so long as I don't get buried or cremated in a frilly casket, or one draped in the Southern Cross Old Glory, or the swastika, or Andy Warhol's graphic vision of John Wayne's buttocks. It's a new world, and I'll miss it, or be very relieved I don't have to suffer it. I should have believed in God, because science can't help me now. So I do believe in God. I just hope it's not too late. Is God binary? I'd hate to die politically incorrect. I should have been more or less woke. Did I fall asleep at the wheel? Maybe I'm dying in a car crash, at least metaphorically. Where's a good metaphor when you need one? Not like, but is. Reality has a whole different meaning now. It's either utterly meaningless or so meaningful it'll resonate through all eternity, and I'll be in there somewhere rooting for any manifestations of a future myself. In my dreams of the past, I am now passing out of. I shall remember in future as surely not that much of a nightmare. Do I care? Don't you care? Dementia can drive you crazy. I think my mind has already left the building, got soaked up in Elvis's sweat. Your horoscope for today. Patience is a virtue, the secret weapon of spiritual wealth. You feel in some way suspended between two worlds, unable to enter one or re-enter the other. You are not alone in this. We are all alone in this together. The human condition unconditionally surrendering to itself. Now is the time to confront your priorities. Let beauty and grace be your guiding paradigm. Leave ego in its own bullet points. Shed old habits and preconceived notions. So much the product of absorbing external traumas at the expense of internal balance. Too much looking in that one-way mirror. Disarm yourself to fate. So dependably yet so startlingly awakening the most inert into action, which is pretty much what dying is. Action made unmanifest. Am I finally making myself clear to myself? Is it not too late? Disposable but not despicable. Should I be keeping an openly hopeful mind that the next world need not be as wordy as mine was? Where's a good fucking editor when you need one? Is anybody following me? On put an end to all this? Do I care? Don't you care? Hey, I'd put an end to it first.